He just wanted a quiet cup of coffee, in a corner, out of the way. But a black man in a worn army jacket doesn't get quiet in this part of town. They called the cops. They thought that would be the end of it. What they didn't know was what stood behind him, and who he still was. The door gave off a soft chime when he walked in. Not many heads turned. Just enough. The kind of half-look that wasn't curious, just tired and tense, like a town used to deciding what someone was worth before they spoke. He stepped up to the counter, boots quiet but steady against the tile. A pair of coins clicked against the laminate. "Small coffee?" he said. His voice was deep, slow. "No sugar." The woman behind the counter didn't lift her eyes. Her fingers kept counting bills into the register tray. Then she turned and began wiping down the coffee machine. Someone else, younger, got served first. Then another. The man didn't move, didn't frown. Just placed his hands on his knees, thumbs hooked under the edge of the table. Waiting was something he knew how to do. From his corner, he watched people come and go. No one watched him back. Outside, a small commotion. A tray had fallen, paper cups scattered, one rolling like a coin before falling flat. He was already moving. A woman in a bulky coat, hair white and soft like dandelions, was trying to balance too much food with too few hands. "Let me help you with that," he said, picking up the fallen cup. She blinked up at him. For a second, she smiled, a flicker of something kind. Then came the sun, tall, impatient. "She's fine, man. She don't need help." He paused, nodded once. Thought maybe it looked heavy. He stepped back, palms out. The old woman didn't speak again, but she looked over her shoulder once as she walked inside. That was enough. Later, on a rusted bench at a bus stop, he watched the wind flap at a torn hiring poster taped to the plexiglass. The tape curled and peeled. "Laborers needed. ID required." He didn't get up to read the rest. A car passed. Someone inside leaned out the window, hand cupped to mouth. "Get a life." He didn't react. Just looked down at his boots, rubbed a thumb over a scuff mark. An army dog tag dangled from his neck, tucked half in, half out of his collar. The metal warmed by the sun. He kept walking. Near the edge of a service road, something whimpered. A dog, low to the ground, one leg bent wrong. He knelt slowly. Let the animal smell his hand. Lifted it without a word. His arms were steady, careful. The shelter was 20 minutes away. He carried the weight the whole time. When he set the dog down on the check-in table, the woman behind the desk raised her eyebrows. "She yours?" "No," he said. "Found her." "She didn't look like this when you found her?" He met her eyes. She was crying. There was silence. The woman looked at the dog again, then nodded, barely. At night, the man mopped floors in a garage that fixed more beer than brakes. His hands were calloused but precise. No wasted movements. A young mechanic tossed a rag behind him without looking. It landed by the mop bucket. "Missed a spot." The man picked up the rag, held it out. "Thanks. Didn't see it." The mechanic watched him for a second too long, then turned back to the radio. When his shift ended, he sat on the stairs behind the building. A paperback rested on his knee, the spine cracked, the cover soft from age. Letters from a Stoic. He turned the pages slowly, lips moving once or twice. A woman passed by on the sidewalk, coat tight around her. She looked at him, looked at the book. "You read that?" He looked up, closed the book with care. "Sometimes helps me sleep." She kept walking, didn't answer. Later, on his way back to the shelter that let him sleep there when it rained, he saw a delivery boy struggling with a stack of bags. The gate to the care home buzzed, but no one came to open it. He didn't speak, just took half the bags and walked beside him. The guard stepped out as they neared. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" The man stopped, set the bags down gently on the stoop, just helping. And then he walked away. The next morning, a paper bag sat on the bench outside the diner, still warm, a donut inside. The same delivery boy from the night before leaned against a light pole. "Hey," he said, "didn't know if you—" The man hesitated, then sat, took the bag. "You're the first to offer," he said, quiet. At 7:10, he walked into the diner again. Same counter, same woman behind it, same chairs, same tired light coming in through the blinds like old smoke. 2 cops were already there, not in uniform, but you could always tell. They paused mid-conversation, eyes on him. The man didn't look back. He reached into his coat, pulled out something small and worn, and placed it on the counter. Dog tags again. This time he didn't tuck them away. The waitress glanced at him, then back at the 2 men behind. Her voice, when it came, was softer. "You always come in here Mondays, huh?" The man turned his head, met her eyes for the first time. "Monday's the day I promised myself not to quit." Her hand hovered over the coffee pot, uncertain. At the other table, the cops leaned in, whispering again. The man didn't move, didn't blink. The tags lay on the table, motionless, heavy in the quiet. The light shifted through the blinds, striping his face like prison bars. No one laughed. No one spoke. It was Monday, and something had changed. The door opened again, sharper this time. Boots, clean and standard issue, stepped in. A younger officer, square-jawed, stiff shoulders. He didn't look around. He walked straight to the counter, straight to the man. "Where'd you get that tag?" The man didn't stand. He looked up, calm. The tag still sat by his coffee cup. "Iraq," he said. "Served under Captain McGraw?" The officer frowned, arms folded. "You got ID?" "No." "Then I don't know you served." The man held his gaze. "Call him." Outside, the early light had turned harsh. The street buzzed with morning. The cop motioned with his chin. "Let's take this outside." The man rose. No hurry. He left the coins on the counter. Out on the pavement, the second officer joined them, the older one, with fingers too close to his belt. "You mind telling us what you're doing around here?" "Having coffee." "You match a description." "Which one?" The younger officer smirked. "Does it matter?" No crowd gathered. No one came out. Inside, forks kept moving, eyes dipped back to menus. A town with muscle memory. Don't get involved. Don't get seen. The man's shoulders didn't drop. His voice didn't raise. "I know how this looks," he said, "but you don't know how it feels." "Turn around," the older cop said. He did. Hands to the wall, pockets pulled out. The search was quick, rough. A phone dropped to the ground. Screen cracked already, now worse. One woman across the street held her phone up and filmed, half hiding behind her car door. But she didn't speak. No one did. When they were done, they stepped back, said nothing, left him standing. The cruiser pulled away, tires biting the curb. He bent to pick up his phone. The screen still glowed. He thumbed a number. "McGraw, it's me." There was no answer, not yet. He didn't say more, just walked. Later, he sat in the park. A bench that creaked under weight no one else saw, his thumb rubbed over a bent edge of metal. And for a moment, he wasn't there. There was sand, smoke, shouting, the whistle before the blast, and then hands, strong hands, dragging someone from fire. A voice yelling in his ear, orders to retreat, but he stayed. He always stayed. "I don't leave mine behind." The sound of footsteps pulled him back. A kid, maybe 15, stood nearby, nervous, ball cap pulled low. "I saw what they did," the kid said. "That wasn't right." A woman's voice behind him, sharp, warning. "Ty, let's go. Now." She didn't look at the man. Not directly. The kid hesitated. "They don't get to do that, do they?" The man nodded toward the woman. "Respect your mother. Always leave with dignity." He waited until they were gone, then stood. At the repair shop, he returned to the mop. Same bucket, same gray streaks on the floor. The younger mechanic was gone for the day, but an older man in a stained cap watched him from the shadows. A chair clattered in the corner. Someone stepped forward. The officer from the diner, the one with the jaw that locked when he talked. "You're trespassing," he said. The man kept mopping. "I work here." "You don't have a contract, no papers. That's called unlawful entry." The mop stopped. The man reached into his coat, pulled out a small recorder, pressed a button. "You're live," he said. "McGraw's listening." The officer froze, eyes twitched, didn't say a word. Just left. That night, the call came. The screen barely held together, but the voice was clear. "Still breathing?" McGraw said. The man didn't answer right away. His fingers tightened on the phone. "I am." Long pause. "You need anything?" "Just needed someone to pick up." Silence again. Then, "Understood. Thank you, Sergeant." He sat alone after the call ended, lights off in the stairwell. A breeze stirred dust through the broken window. The city didn't notice him. Not yet. But in the morning, he was back. Same corner. Same stool, the tag already on the counter. This time, the whole place turned quiet. Coffee spoons stopped stirring. Chairs didn't squeak. He didn't move. Just stared at the surface of the cup, steam rising soft and slow. No music played. The light came in clean through the blinds. Everything stood still, waiting. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. The bell over the diner door gave a soft, trembling ring. He didn't look up. Didn't need to. The boots were clean, but worn in, purposeful. The air shifted, like the room itself knew something had changed. Conversations died mid-sentence. Chairs scraped back. The buzz of the old fridge behind the counter became the only sound. McGraw stood there, still tall despite the years, bars on his shoulders, a presence that made people sit straighter. He didn't take off his hat, didn't look around for approval. He looked at the man in the corner. The man didn't rise, didn't salute, just looked back. McGraw took 2 steps forward, then one more, slow. "This man," he said, voice even, cutting through the hush like gravel on glass, "saved my life in Al-Sadr, pulled me through fire, lost half his team staying behind so I'd make it, and now he's sitting here, while the rest of you pretend he's part of the wallpaper. Someone coughed. Someone dropped a fork. Nobody said anything. McGraw scanned the room, jaw tight. "What have you done lately?" No one met his eyes. The man in the corner shifted in his seat, one hand resting on the edge of the counter. "It doesn't matter," he said quietly. "Not what they've done, only who they choose to be after." McGraw nodded once. "Fair enough." The waitress came over. Her hands trembled as she poured the coffee, eyes low. Some spilled on the counter. She wiped it quickly. I didn't know," she said. He took the cup. "Thanks," he replied. Then after a pause, "Keep the change this time." She smiled, just barely. The door opened again, rougher. The young mechanic stood in the entrance, shoulders stiff, eyes darting. He cleared his throat, didn't look at anyone in particular. "I got space in the mornings," he said. "Tools are trash, but you're better than anyone we got. You want it? It's yours." The man nodded. "I'll think on it." "Only till dawn. After that, the place gets loud." "I prefer quiet." Outside, the air had shifted. You could feel it. Less weight behind each glance, less suspicion in the silence. On the corner, a boy with a backpack stood with his mother. Same kid. Same eyes. This time she walked up first. "I didn't know who you were," she said. "I judged. That was wrong. You know now." Her son gave a little nod. He wasn't afraid anymore. Another day, another crack in the wall. Later that week, one of the cops, not the youngest, not the worst, walked into the precinct and left his badge on the desk. No speech, no explanation. Just gone. The man passed by later and found the badge in a small box outside, unclaimed. He picked it up, turned it over, didn't say anything. Just set it gently on a bench and kept walking. People started saying hello to him now. A nod. "A mornin', sir." Sometimes a seat saved in the corner without asking. It made him uncomfortable. "One day," he answered. "L," he said. "Name's just L." A photo went up on the diner wall, grainy but clear enough. L and McGraw standing in the same dusty uniform, younger, dirtier, proud. A small plaque read, "Local Hero." Someone scribbled under it with a pen. "Still doesn't have a place to live." He saw it. Didn't wipe it off. Just smiled. It's not the roof that makes a man. A girl bent over near the bus stop one morning. Same street where he once lifted a broken dog. She knelt beside a limp mutt, whispering something. Her hands moved just like his had. Someone from the crowd yelled at her, "Leave it! You'll be late." She turned. "He would have stopped," she said. "I will too." In the diner, things felt the same. Same cheap booths, same stale air, same old song on the radio that no one ever seemed to change. He sat in his corner. Same coffee, same time. Steam curled in the air. Through the window, the reflection shifted. Not him. Not this time. Someone else was helping an old woman cross the street. Someone else had noticed. He didn't smile, didn't move. He just watched. He didn't speak, but everyone else stopped talking. And that was enough.